Following the previous lecture, in this lecture, I'm going to show you how to set up the JUnitTest classes. Second part, run JUnitTest. How to run the test? We have two ways to run it. First, right-click on the test all on the test class. Second, run the test button. And by right-click, you can choose test all or test individual test. Name pattern test. In this run test example, I slightly modified the StudentTest class, including this test group name method. This one, it read in a file, so you need the IO exception handling. You need to throw the IO exception object. And then while the file still not empty, you read in each line and assign to NN, and then set name to this name. This names long.txt has the names of the Washington High School student. And then set each student with the name. After that, you use assert true method with the message right here, and then you try to set the name to match. W/W means an English letter, star means 0 to any number of lengths for the letters. And then /S is the space. With the star, that means it can be 0 or any number of space. And then again, the letters. So it's a first name, space, last name format. To see whether this name is matching that format. So this shows you a very good example of the group testing for names. Not just only test one value. And then the input file is names long.txt. It's from the chapter 9 of Java Programming AP Edition, AP Computer Science Part 1. And this student get name.match method is from regular expression from chapter 10 of Java Programming AP Edition, AP Computer Science Part 2. Let's look at the demo program Student.java and StudentTest.java. As you can see right here, I have the same student class that we used in the previous lecture. And then we have a student test class slightly modified. In this one, I changed the test1 method to test empty, test2 method to test name. And then I add the test ID method that set the ID of a student and then compare to this WH001. If this is the same, then it won't raise the exception. And also, I add in a test group name method that will read in the student name from a file names long.txt. And each time I read in a line and assign the string to a certain name. And then set the name to the student object. After that, I use assert true, and this method will check if this condition is true. If not, then the message name, this name, does not match the required format. And the match format right here has /W star, that means that 0 or more number of letters. And then /S with star, that means 0 or more spaces. And then this is /W star, that means 0 or more letters. So this is the format of first name, space, last name format. And then check if the name from the student object matching this format or not. After all the name from the file been read in, then we close the file. So right here, let's try to run it. As I mentioned, there are two ways to run it. First one, let's right click and test all. And 4 the methods come out one by one, and there's nothing wrong. Other than that, you can test on individual method, say method test ID, or method test empty, or the last one, test the group name. Not only that, you can also click the run test. You will run all of the test methods, including the one before. So this run test actually run all the tests in this project. And the one we click for test all only for this test class. In this example, show you that multiple test methods being used. Let's go back to the slides. How to interpret the result? The test result window shows a summary of tests run and can display value details. When tests have been executed, the test result window displays a summary of the test outcomes. The top pane of that window shows a list of all executed tests tagged with an icon indicating their success or failure. A green tick mark indicates a successful test. A gray cross indicates a test failure. A red cross marks an error. The number of run test error failure is also summarized in the middle section of the window. A test has a value if one of the assertions. So for the group name test, if any one of the assertions for any line of the string name that has value doesn't match the pattern, then the value will be raised. For example, if the test assertion may specify a particular method result should not be null, but in this case, it was. A test has an error if its execution results in any kind of error, such as unexpected exception being thrown. Say you cannot find a file, or system down or something. For any unsuccessful test, detail about its value can be displayed by selecting the test in the list. The lower pane in the windows then displays the detailed information about this value or error. The bar in the middle of the test window is the main summary of the test run. If it appears to be green, all is well. All tests have been successful. If it is red, then there is a problem. At least one test has failed. Let's look at the BlueJ again. So right here, let's change the ID to different value. And the name. So two cases will create trouble. Let's compile and test all. So as you can see, in the middle there is a red bar. That means that there are some value. There are two values. So let's click on the first one. It shows where it happens. But let's look at the window again. Right here, there are a lot of detailed information about why this fails. So the expected value and the real value, they are different. Let's click on the second one. Similarly, the name doesn't match, and it shows the error message. And it also shows you where that it happened. So by doing this, you are able to identify where it goes wrong, and you can make a change much quicker. So this is the benefit of using the JUnit testing. We will continue in the next section on more advanced concepts and give you a complete guide about how to use JUnit test. Thank you.